Hello, dear students. Welcome back again to the third lecture of JandK Reorganization Act of 2019. As we have already completed the two lectures on this very topic, and we are currently discussing the part third, that is representation in legislatures. Okay, so this will be the lengthiest part because it contains most of the important articles and sections. Okay, so we are going to discuss one by one as we have already discussed up to 20. So we are going to discuss the 21st section today. Okay. So the 21st section says that special address of Lieutenant Governor to Legislative Assembly. It means that at every first session, whenever the Legislative Assembly assembles its meeting or there is the conduct of business, the Lieutenant Governor is supposed to address it. Okay, that address is called the special address. Okay, that has to be the first thing that has to be done in the Legislative Assembly. Okay, that is section 21. Okay, so moving towards section 22, it tells about the rights of ministers and advocate general with respect to legislative assembly. Okay, so it simply means that every minister and advocate general, okay, only advocate general is one, so has a right to sit. Okay, actually it has a right to sit into every session of legislative assembly. Okay, right? So that's it, simply section 22. Section 23 is rights of lieutenant governor to address and to send a message to LA. So what is the meaning of this message actually? Okay, I will tell you, whenever a business is conducted inside a legislative assembly, okay, whenever a session is conducted, there has to be a message or there has to be a piece of information which has to be spread, by the lieutenant governor, and it tells about that piece of message, section 23. Okay, I hope it's clear. So section 24 tells us simply about oath or affirmation by a minister. Oath or affirmation by a minister. It means that every member of the legislative assembly shall, before taking a seat, make and subscribe an oath before the LG. Okay, so that is what it means. Section 24. Okay, very important. So section 25 is bit lengthiest, okay, but I will try to simplify it. Section 25 says that voting in assembly, power of assembly, okay, to act notwithstanding vacancies and quorum. Okay, what is quorum? I will tell you. Okay, so first its sub section tells us that all questions to be discussed by majority vote except speaker. Okay, it means that whatever will be the discussion or whatever will be the conclusion, it has to be only passed when there is a majority vote. Okay, when there is a voting by majority of the members, that's it, simply. And the second one says that speaker has a casting vote. Okay, why there is except speaker? Because at first phase, when the matter is being discussed by the parties, speaker cannot vote directly. But in case of a tie, if there is a tie between the parties, then speaker has a vote that's called casting vote, and that he can use this casting vote to finally come to a decision. Okay, yeah. So the third subsection or the subsection of this is that that legislative assembly to not withstand any discrepancy in voting. Okay, means if there is any kind of a discrepancy or if there is any kind of unfairness in voting, who has to find this fault? It is the responsibility of the legislative assembly to kind of vanish that mistake out, or to kind of vanquish that, or to kind of not withstand that kind of a thing. Okay, now quorum. What is a quorum? Quorum is actually minimum number of people or minimum number of members that are required to start a session. Okay, so that's quorum. I hope you understand it. I have simplified it as I put it as simple as possible. So quorum is actually minimum sum or minimum number of members that are required to complete a or start a meeting. Okay, what is the quorum? What should be the quorum according to JandK Reorganization Act 2019? 10 members, or it could be 1/10 of total members. Okay, for example, if there are 100 members, or at least 10 members has to be present, that is 1/10, or whichever is greater. Okay, whichever is greater among these two causes or clauses, that has to be taken into consideration. Okay, either 10 member or 1/10 of total members. Okay, that is the quorum. Okay, the fifth subsection tells us without a quorum, meeting shall be suspended if there is not the minimum requirement in a session, the meeting shall be suspended by speaker or the person on his behalf. Okay, and whoever is sitting on his behalf, the meeting shall be cancelled. Okay, so this was section 25, very important, which tells us about voting in assembly, powers of assembly. Okay, so let's move to the section 26. It's also a bit tricky, but very easy. Okay, I will try to explain it as simple. So section 28, or section 26 tells us about the vacation of seats. Okay, how the seats are vacated in a legislative assembly. No person to be a member of both parliament and legislative assembly. Okay, sometimes this happens. A person is the member of parliament as well as he's the member of legislative assembly. Okay, but if this happens, the seat of the parliament by that member has to be vacated. Okay, the person has to vacate the seat of the parliament if he is the member of both legislative assembly or parliament. But if he wants to be a member of parliament, not state legislative assembly, then he has to resign from state legislative assembly to be the member of parliament. Okay, I hope it is understood. The second subsection tells us if a member of legislative assembly, for example, is disqualified under section 27 or section 28. Okay, what are section 27s and what are section 28? They mostly talk about defection and all the disqualification thing, which I will discuss further. But if a person is disqualified under this section, or if he resigns to the speaker, okay, simply the basic purpose of this subclause is that a person is disqualified if he does this. Okay, if he does not abide by section 27, does not abide by section 28, or if he resigns, or if he is absent from legislative assembly for 60 days. Very important, understand this. If he is absent, okay, for 60 days, he is not a member of legislative assembly. Okay, he automatically gets disqualified. But if the legislative assembly gets adjourned or prorogued, what is adjournment and prorogue? I will tell you that those days are not counted into him being absent. Okay, as simple as that. Now, let's move to the section 27. Section 27 tells us disqualification of a membership, how a person can be disqualified in a legislative assembly. Okay, so what are the ways? So, subsection 1, part A tells us if he holds an office of profit under government of India or government of UT of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, means if he works somewhere else or holds a office, office of profit, he has to be disqualified. He has to leave the legislative assembly. B part tells us if disqualified under Article 102. Okay, under Article 102. What is Article 102? It is a disqualification of a member of Lok Sabha. Okay, kind of those protocols. Okay, so you have to be disqualified if you fall under Article 102. Okay, the same clauses apply here. Okay, now the subsection 3 tells us on question of disqualification of membership under subsection 1 and 2, means which we discussed above, LG's decision will be final. Okay, so LG will decide whether the person is disqualified or not. Okay, on the basis of above these two clauses. Okay, clause 1 and clause 2. Who is the final decider? That is Lieutenant Governor. Okay, but to decide that, he has to take the opinion of whom? Election Commission of India. Okay, Election Commission of India. Okay, I hope it's understood. Now let's move to the section 28, that is disqualification on the ground of defection for being a member. What is the disqualification on the ground of defection? I will explain. Okay, so we have anti-defection law under the 10th schedule of Constitution of India, which you will have to discuss. It's a further topic of itself. Okay, and you will have to kind of just search it, anti-defection law, 10th schedule of Constitution of India. You will get the required information about it. So person to be disqualified on the same grounds. What grounds? The grounds that are mentioned in the 10th schedule of Constitution of India. So this is very important, which tells us about anti-defection law, that is section 28 of JandK Reorganization Act of 2019. Okay, now another important section, I've skipped 29, I didn't find that important. So section 30 tells us about powers, privileges of a member. So what are the powers enjoyed by a member? Okay, so first power is that he has a right to speech in every session. Okay, second power is there will be no court proceedings against him as long as he is the member of legislative assembly. Okay, the third power he has, power similarity of in the house of people, means house of people is also called Lok Sabha. Okay, Lok Sabha, and whatever the power that are enjoyed by a member in the Lok Sabha, the similar power will be enjoyed by the member of legislative assembly. Okay, that's it. So I will end this video here because I don't want to make it too long to get you bored. I will see you in the next video. Till then, have a good healthy life and keep studying and keep working hard. Definitely you will get your fruit. Thank you so much for watching this video.